Hi Leute und willkommen zurück zu Genshin Impact. Letzter Story-Part hier vom Lantern Ride Event. Hier wird vorgeschlagen, ich soll noch was anderes vorher abschließen. Was ist das? Ja, ist das irgendein Legendenauftrag von den paar tausend? Oder so? Gibt ja gar nicht viele. Animub. Ich kann doch nicht. Das? Nee, nö. Nee. Doch, es war ein Legendenauftrag. Ignorieren wir, ne? Empfohlene Aufträge, nö.
Boom booms and eyes, and boom booms and mouth.
Dann schauen wir uns das doch mal an.
Also planning on spending some time in Xiaoying Village? We didn't have anything else to do today, right? Why don't we go?
Ja, Paimon ist okay. Also. Das wäre gewesen. Furinas. Warum soll man vorher Furinas Legendenauftrag gemacht haben dafür? Hä? Ja, okay, man geht da oben hin und würde dann von da aus Fontaine sehen, wenn man das noch nicht gemacht hat. Okay, aber warum muss die Furinas... Die hat doch mit dem Gebiet nichts zu tun. Ah, vielleicht wird sie hier auch erwähnt oder so? Egal. Dann gucken wir mal, was wir hier noch zu erledigen haben.
So refreshing! It makes Paimon feel like she could float around all day and never get tired. Cream! Gummies! Fuel fruit!
Toll, jetzt habe ich Hunger.
Huh? Did you hear that? Sunshine! Blue skies! Good vibes!
Ich höre eine Blondine.
Right? So Paimon wasn't just hearing things. That voice sounds... Well, we've got the time. Why don't we go check it out?
Das ist aber nicht der Charakter, weshalb wir hier sind. Das ist auch nicht der Charakter von der Quest, die gesagt wurde, dass man die machen muss. Irgendwas stimmt hier nicht. Und wir werden wegteleportiert. Hä? Ich hab gewusst, ich höre eine Blondine.
Navia, Courant!
Ah, well, if it isn't my dear partners. See, I told you that something good was going to happen during our travels today. I have to say, sometimes the Steambird's astrology column is spot on.
It's just your lucky day.
Are you guys also here to catch the festivities? Oh, and that reminds me, Happy Lantern Rite.
Happy Lantern Rite.
Happy Lantern Rite to you too! Wait, if you're here for Lantern Rite, then what are you doing on top of this deserted mountain? And that voice we heard, that was you, right, Navia?
Oh, impressive. You could tell it was me from that far away.
That or your voice is just really loud.
Well, of course it is. After all, I'm a boss.
Indeed. I suppose it's an asset.
Sure is! Having a loud voice is a handy tool when it comes to communication. Wait. That wasn't even Paimon's point. Paimon just wants to know why you two were shouting from the top of this deserted mountain. There was something about almonds, maybe? And buell fruit?
No, it's not a code. The words are meaningless.
Perhaps. But the act of shouting was very meaningful indeed. That's just what mountain climbers do, right? After all the hard work it takes to make it to the top, as you stand on the summit looking out at the vast scenery, it's not easy to resist the urge to release those emotions.
So einen hohen Berg, sowas wie da hinten oder da. Und nicht hier, wo du in ein Dorf runterschreist.
Exactly. You get me, partner. I was afraid that it would cause a disturbance, so I asked the locals around here, and they said it was fine. Apparently most hikers like to shout when they get to the top, so the locals are used to it by now.
Nee, die schreien, wenn sie den Berg wieder runterfallen.
So, you see, it's not just me. I guess everyone shouts from the top of a mountain at some point in their life.
Speak for yourself.
When you're stressed, don't you ever just get the urge to do something for no reason?
Not really. If I ever get stressed, I just go hunting.
Ich hab's gewusst. Ich wollte sagen, dann geht sie jemand abknallen. Das Spiel hat's besser gesagt.
Oh, that's a pretty good way to relieve stress.
Ja, aber nicht, wenn du der bist, der gejagt wird.
What I choose to hunt depends on my mood.
Au.
Anyway, why don't you two give it a try?
As long as Paimon has clothes on her back and food in her belly, Paimon doesn't think there's any stress that needs relieving.
Oh, I bet you guys are just too embarrassed to let loose. No need to be shy. Even Farina was shouting from the top of this mountain earlier.
Da kommt sie ins Spiel.
Huh? Did Paimon hear that right? Farina's also here?
Believe in your ears. It is indeed as you heard. Actually, the reason we climbed this mountain in the first place was also because we heard the sound of shouting.
Yes, we could just about make out someone yelling things like, "Help me!" and "What should I do?" So we hurried up here to check it out. And what do you know? Miss Farina was standing right there, all red in the face. She practically sprinted back down the mountain the minute...
That reminds me. I believe what she actually said was, "So help me, I will figure out what I should do about this script."
So, you could actually hear what she was saying? Why didn't you say so earlier? I thought someone was really in trouble.
I figured we would come check out the situation either way. Why not let her keep some privacy?
Oh, seems like you caught Farina in the middle of some stress relief as well. She probably would have never thought. No, she definitely would have never thought she would run into anyone she knew all the way out here.
I think so. We ran into Nervalet on the way here as well, but he was already on his way back, so...
What? Nervalet was here too? What was he doing here? It couldn't have been for vacation.
I think it just might have been, actually. But apparently he only stayed for half a day before heading back. He's a very busy man.
Neuvillette is not the type to take much time off. Taking even a half day for himself is already a huge step in the right direction.
Didn't Charlotte publish an article on the Liyue tea industry recently? Maybe he was inspired to come buy some tea after reading that article.
My situation is completely different. I'm here because I was asked to accompany you. The tea purchase is simply an added bonus of this location.
Die kaufen wirklich den Tee.
You Fontanians and your tea drinking.
Oh, it's not for me. I lost a bet with Ridesley, and now I have to buy him something. It was just a spur-of-the-moment sort of... Ridesley gets really invested in that sort of thing. But he couldn't care less about what he wins in the end. You could give him mint plants that you plucked from the side of the road, and he wouldn't even mind.
If only he was that easygoing when it came to talking business. In any case, I'm pretty sure the tea you bought is this region's specialty. What is it called again? Nervalette even mentioned it earlier. Yes, that's the one.
You didn't really buy 10 boxes.
Please. Do I look like someone who would fall for that sort of marketing trap?
That reminds me. You guys said you only came up here because you heard my voice, right? I hope it didn't put you out. You must have had other plans for the day.
Ja, der wurde gerade gecancelt.
Oh, that's right. Who tell? A few days ago, we heard that a friend was going to be in Chaoying Village. So we decided to come and see if we could run into her.
Oh dear. We've been chatting for quite some time. I'm sorry for keeping you. That's good.
We should probably head out and look for Hu Tao.
No need to stay on our account. We just got up here, so...
Go and meet your friend.
Sounds good. We're gonna head down the mountain.
Where do you want this stuff delivered to, boss?
Gratis Essen. Gratis Essen. Wehe, Hu Tao gibt nichts zu essen aus. Ah, ja. Die machen alle Urlaub.
Chaoying Village is known for its tea. But you know what else they have with tea? That's right, dim sum! Didn't Gaming say something about dim sum being eaten in the morning? Oh, Paimon wonders if we can still get some at this time of day. Oh, well that's fine too. Paimon doesn't care what kind of tea it is. Now, let's see what kind of yummy... Paimon's not seeing things, is she? Is that Farina's stand? Wonder what they're talking about. Zhongli knows a lot of stuff. Maybe he's telling Farina about... Oh, or maybe Hu Tao is trying to rope Farina into being one... Hey, this isn't the fortress, but... Paimon could be convinced for the right price. Let's see. Since Zhongli is there, Paimon bets things are pretty tame. It's decided then. Paimon votes for tour guide Zhongli. All right, no time to waste. Good afternoon, Hu Tao, Zhongli, and Farina. Oh, great. Now Paimon's shouting too.
Oh, well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Seems like our luck just keeps on growing.
That we were able to meet you both without prior arrangement must mean that this is quite the serendipitous meeting indeed.
Huh? Oh, so both of you are acquainted with the Traveler and Paimon then? I'm pretty sure you didn't learn that one from me. I must admit, I'm a bit surprised to see you here, Traveler. But seeing as you're a hero who's been all over Teyvat, it makes sense that you would be well-traveled and well-connected. Since we have found ourselves in each other's company within this fertile land, allow me to take this opportunity to wish you a happy Lantern Rite.
It appears you have been to Fontaine then. Given your proclivity to spread good deeds wherever you go, it's no surprise that you would make the acquaintance of a celebrity as illustrious and celebrated as Miss Farina.
That's quite high praise. What I mean to say is, you flatter me, Mr. Zhongli. Although I've built up a certain following within Fontaine, it is no reflection of strength or wisdom. I stand before you right now as nothing more than an ordinary traveler in search of beautiful scenery and creative inspiration. There is definitely more to Mr. Zhongli than meets the eye. I could tell as much from our conversation earlier. Given his breadth of knowledge on both academic and worldly matters, there's no way he hasn't heard about what happened in Fontaine. Is he just feigning ignorance for my benefit?
No. Yeah. You're no common tourist. I simply won't have you talk about yourself that way.
Huh? Does that mean Hu Tao also knows?
You may not have heard, friends, but... Miss Farina is now one of my esteemed clients.
Oh Gott. Uff.
Okay, you win.
Ja.
Guess Paimon will have to break into the hidden stash at the bottom of her shoe.
Huh? What's this about winning something?
Don't tell me. You two were placing bets on us.
We just saw you guys standing on the side of the road and couldn't help but take guesses as to what you were talking about.
Oh, I see. That means you, my friend, must have guessed that I was trying to promote my business to Miss Farina. That I do, my friend. What was Paimon's guess then?
Paimon thought Zhongli was showing the newbie around.
By newbie, you...
If that's the case, then Paimon's guess was also correct.
Oh, that's right. Mr. Zhongli was telling me about some great sightseeing spots in the area.
Ha! You see? Since both of our guesses were right, there can't be a winner or a loser. Hey, don't be upset, traveler.
Kein Wunder, dass Paimon nicht richtig schweben und fliegen kann, wenn ihre Schuhe voll mit Geld sind.
How about this? You buy Paimonable and Paimon will also buy youable. As for the third bowl...
Since I was the subject of the bet, perhaps it should go to me? You know, as a congratulations for the huge deal I just struck. I was just joking. Anyway, I should be the one treating you.
Ich
The
hab's
funeral
gewusst.
parlor is about to bring in quite the sum after all.
Oh, Paimon almost forgot to ask about the most important question. Something happen recently, Farina?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, you know, with you enlisting the services of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor.
Oh, well, yes.
Really? Oh, Paimon is so sorry for your loss. Although Paimon may have not known the person, please accept Paimon's...
Whoa, it's not like that, Paimon.
Huh? But Paimon just thought, since you hired the services of a funeral parlor and all...
Really, Paimon, it's not like you don't know me. Do I look like I know anyone who would ask me to coordinate their funeral? Miss Hu Tao is simply helping prepare some props for my film. Not too long ago, I read a collection of horror stories from Liyue. The content was spectacular. In fact, I still feel the need to sleep with the light on even now. Anyway, that's not the point. Now that Fontaine's biggest star has returned to the stage, I figured it's about time the industry enjoyed a breath of fresh air. Hey, that's pretty good. I'll have to remember that for my ad posters.
Oh, Paimon sees. That makes a lot of sense. So, did you come to Liyue just to enlist the services of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor?
Well, not exactly. My original plan was to just relax and enjoy the sights. But then I ran into Miss Hu Tao and Mr. Zhongli, and well, you know the rest. I suppose it was meant to be.
It was a fated meeting indeed.
Zhongli sure loves his lofty turns of phrase. But if you ask me, it's all thanks to that man who stopped to ask for directions.
Oh? Who was it?
It's someone you know. Wanna take a guess?
What? How did you guess that on your first try? Very impressive, my friend. Your guessing game is spot on today.
Huh. Paimon never thought Neuvillette would be the type to get lost.
I'm sure he didn't get lost. Even I was able to find my way to this place without any... He was already getting ready to leave by the time I arrived. He just wanted to ask someone about the quickest way to get back to Fontaine.
Yup, that's exactly what he asked. This area is full of mountains and rivers. It's normal to not know the fastest route.
So, were you the one that pointed him in the right direction, Huta?
Of course. I'm also a guide of sorts, you know. So naturally, I also have a great sense of direction. But speaking of your friend,
What about him?
he doesn't get out much, does he? No wonder. He was stiff as a board and way too polite. I would have never guessed he was here on vacation if you hadn't told me.
All in all, he was only here for half a day. I'm pretty sure he is the only one who would consider that to be a vacation.
Oh? This gentleman you speak of must keep a demanding schedule.
I'm sure he does. You didn't see him, but he was dressed like he was about to attend some important meeting.
Is that so?
Wait, you didn't see him, Zhongli?
Unfortunately, at the time, it appeared as if Director Hu and Miss Farina were having quite the productive conversation. I know matters of business can take much discussion, so I decided to fetch some tea for them.
What a shame. That gentleman seemed like a sophisticated sort of guy. I actually think you two would have hit it off.
Is that so? Hmm? To borrow Miss Farina's...
Well, with the traveler around, I'm sure you'll have a chance to get to know each other at some point.
That's right. She's got more friends than she knows what to do with.
Well, that's certainly true. Oh, that reminds me. If you get the chance, you should try and talk to Nervalette into loosening up a bit. Just tell him the Palais Mermonia isn't going to fall apart if he disappears for a few days. He shouldn't keep himself cooped up all the time. Even clams open their shells to let in fresh water every once in a while, right?
Weiß sie, dass Neuvillette dafür verantwortlich ist, dass alle Maschinen in der Stadt noch funktionieren? Dass die durch seine Kraft im Moment angetrieben werden, weil ja die Aura Trees kaputt gegangen ist? Ich glaube nicht, oder? Wenn er ein paar Tage weg ist, funktioniert da keine Maschine mehr.
If he's really that much of a stickler for protocol, he can fill out a leave of absence request. He'd have to approve it himself since he handles that sort of thing now, but you know what I mean.
Beziehungsweise, ich nehme an, die Geräte haben irgendeine Art von Batterie. Wenn er so lange weg ist, bis die Batterien alle sind, dann ist schlecht.
Seems like this gentleman is also in charge of something pretty important. Sounds like a pretty uptight sort of guy, all right. In my experience, a leader needs to be able to roll with the punches. That also includes knowing when and what to prioritize. It seems like your friend still has a lot of growing to do.
If I remember correctly, he's already several thousands of years old. You're quite right, Miss Hutao.
Oh? Traveler, Miss Farina. Those two individuals over there appear to recognize you.
Noch mehr Mails habe ich gerade noch gebraucht.
Oh, it's Navia and Cloran. Hey, over here!
We saw you all chatting over here, and we're wondering if we could join in.
Please.
Oh, no apologies necessary. Any friend of the Traveler and Miss Farina is a friend of mine. Ah, straight to the point. It's getting late. If we want to catch a boat back before dark, we should probably get going.
Indeed. Then, Miss Farina,
Yes?
when are you planning to head back? Do you need us to escort you?
Oh, I don't think that will be necessary. I mean, you're not my subordinate anymore. You don't need...
It's normal for friends to travel home together if they run into each other on the road.
There are a lot of mountainous roads in this area. I imagine they'll be even harder to navigate after dark.
Exactly. Just like in those ghost stories. 8 paths converge in a wood. Beside them an old house is stood. If you dare to go inside, not a soul will greet your eye. But if you take a closer look, there may be something you mistook. A candle flickers to and fro, yet there is no wind to make it so.
So gut. Sehr, sehr gut.
My dear demoiselles, ladies, no, I mean friends, please take...
Of course.
Gotta say, by the way, did I hear you mention that Clorand used to work under you? Then you must have also been a leader at some point. Well, besides being a leader, I prefer how things are now.
I see. Well, you've certainly picked an apt place to relax. Xiaoying Village is an exemplary choice.
Only the best. And I've learned a lot, too. Thank you so much, Miss Hu Tao and Mr. Zhongli. It's fine. You thanked us more than enough already. The next time you're in this neck of the woods, I'll treat you to some dim sum in the city. Dim sum? Is that some kind of Liyue term for snacks or desserts? They are a part of it. It's basically a table full of as much tea, sweets, and good company. Oh, so it's basically a tea party.
Make sure to order the winter melon cake and the lotus flower crisp. They're so sweet and delicious. Paimon knows you'll love them.
Ooh, okay.
Wait, but didn't you guys say you were here on vacation? How come you're all going home empty-handed?
Of course I am. I bought tons of fun things to bring home with me. A kite, a parasol, a little tin frog that jumps. Oh, and a stuffed toy of a mythical beast. Clorand is the one who didn't buy anything for herself.
So all you're bringing back with you is...
And some tea-flavored hard candies.
Clorand isn't much of a shopaholic.
Well, one of us has to practice
Hey, I'm hardly reckless with my Mora. I'll have you know, all the purchases I made today were well within my budget.
Me? Oh, well, I bought some tea, of course. I just had to try all the varieties recommended in the Steambird. Other than that, just some bits and bobs, you know. A little bit of this, little bit of that. They should all be things I can use, I think.
Now Paimon's... If you bought that much stuff, where did it all go? Into one of Linny...
Oh, actually...
Monsieur Neuvillette took them with him.
Oh, so that's what happened. Wait, what? Why did he take them? He's not hoarding treasure, is he?
That's quite the imagination you've got there, Paimon. Monsieur Neuvillette just saw the amount of bags we had and offered to take them back for us. I felt a bit bad at first, but, I really did have a lot of stuff.
He even offered to deliver my gifts to the Fortress of Maripede for me, once he's done with the day's work. Neuvillette is a man of his word. If he says he can do something, then he means it.
See, even Clorand was happy to take him up on his offer. If even his trusty subordinate agreed, then who was I to refuse?
Wow, he seems like a real gentleman. Maybe he's not as uptight as I thought. If only the funeral parlor had an employee as thoughtful, proactive, and responsible as him. Right, Zhongli?
Indeed.
Clorand said Neuvillette offered to deliver her gifts to Risley. So if we go...
Also... Langsam wird's anstrengend. Müssen wir nicht auch noch so Jiao? Wollte der nicht auch noch mit uns quatschen?
But we don't know exactly when he'll show up.
Wieder mal in den Brunnen gefallen. Wie immer. Moment, ist er jetzt dahinter oder ist er innen drinne? Dahinter anscheinend, der Spur nach. Er steht da rum.
It's Neverlet! We like...
Oh, it's you. It has been some time since our last meeting. Few people frequent this location. Since I was able to conclude my work early for the day, I thought I might take a walk and avail myself of this area's peace.
You call this early? Do you always work this late, Neverlet?
Strictly speaking, that depends on the agenda for the day. I am hardly bereft of time, however, so working late is of little consequence to me.
Really? If you have so much time on your hands, then why did you only go to Chaoying Village for half a day?
First, I should clarify that I was referring to my lifespan, rather than the time at my disposal on any... Second, I was unaware you possessed knowledge of my trip to Chaoying Village. I see. Thank you for informing me. Yes, they have been safely delivered.
I have to hand it to Cloramp. Just a simple gift delivery, and she has the great and mighty Udex at her beck and call.
I was just passing through. It was merely an act of convenience.
All right. Then I hereby confirm receipt of the goods on behalf of the staff of the Fortress of Meripede.
A verbal receipt of confirmation? Is such a formality really necessary for a small matter?
Guess not. This quantity of tea, though, seems a little excessive for a gift, don't you think? Before you know it, they'll start accusing me of taking bribes.
About that. Much of that is my own excess, I'm afraid.
Oh? Why?
It was buy 10 boxes, get half off.
Ah, that explains it then. Well, go ahead and leave them to me. I'll get through this stash as fast as I can.
You have my thanks. Oh, there's something else I'd like to give to you.
This is a stone slate, engraved with a symbolic design.
While that is an apt description, it is in actuality a legal codex.
A legal codex, huh?
Before the advent of modern writing utensils, information was recorded on stone slabs such as this. The law was no different.
Oh.
Since ancient times, the scales of justice have symbolized the fairness and impartiality of judiciousness. As a tribute to that sentiment, this slate was designed after a traditional legal codex and engraved with a symbol instead of text. During my travels recently, I chanced upon a roadside stall offering tourists the opportunity to try their hand at the ceramic arts. So I decided to have a go. We joked with Claran some time ago about gifting you a legal codex.
Ah, so that's what this is about.
I did not expect you to remember it as well. In any case, I hope this can be considered as a reasonable attempt to join in on the banter.
It is a very good attempt. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Even your sense of humor centers around the law. That's an impressive level of commitment. Well, a gift of this significance deserves to be put on display, and I know just the place. Front and center in the fortress's showroom.
Surely there's no need for such a...
Just kidding. I don't have anything like a showroom. But we do have a storage room. We can put it next to all the mechanical parts Sijuin has collected.
That sounds good to me.
So that's what you were doing in Chaoying Village.
Indeed. Of course, while I was there, I also took the opportunity to taste the local spring water. The aftertaste is much purer than what I have delivered to me in Fontaine. It stands to reason that the long-distance transport has a tendency to imbue the water with extraneous emotion. If you want to experience the true flavor, you simply have to go to the source. Perhaps I should organize some time off to do the same elsewhere. Then we are of the same mind. It appears my desire is justified.
If you say so, but you know you don't have to justify a vacation, right? You can just take one. After all, you're hardly bereft of time. You can do whatever you want.
You're quite right. I suppose I suffer not from a lack of opportunity, but rather a lack of inspiration. However, after reading a few articles about Liyue's holiday traditions, the idea popped into my head and made itself quite at home. Seeing as I was free of responsibilities for the morning, I decided to depart at once. Refreshing. My spontaneous outing seemed to inspire quite a few other spontaneous decisions as well. Take, for example, my foray into ceramics. At first, soil from the ground is granular and unforgiving, but add the right amount of water, and it becomes soft, moldable, and able. In the past, I never thought about how quotidian vessels were crafted. But now, I have participated in their very making. This is also something I made today.
That's a ladle? Paimon thought it was supposed to be some long...
That was indeed one of my inspirations. Really? You like it? To tell you the truth, given your unexpected arrival, I find myself quite unequipped to give you the welcome you deserve. Around such an important holiday such as this, human custom would dictate that gifts should be in order. But I'm afraid this is all I can offer. That is precisely why it would do me such a great honor. You are most welcome. Happy Lantern Rite. Approve a leave of absence request. That sounds like it could easily lead to a vicious cycle of self-indulgence. But I suppose I understand her point. My proclivity to refrain from personal outings does, in part, originate from a sense of responsibility toward my duties. But it is also due to a lack of desire to engage in the human... But now I see that the human world is indeed full of many interesting places to discover.
Okay, und damit wäre das Event zu Ende. Das geheimnisvolle Geschenk war halt das von Neuvillette. Ja, Festigkeit sollte man schon fertig gemacht haben. Mache ich hier auch gleich noch nach der Aufnahme fertig. Wenn ihr die... Gott, kann ich ja wieder nicht. Wenn ihr die Drachen haben wollt, für euer Housing, um die da fliegen zu lassen, einmal den Paimon-Drachen bekommt man ja direkt nach der Quest, wenn man ist halt sein eigener. Andere Drachen kann man direkt bei der Händlerin kaufen, die man ganz zum Anfang hier vorne hat. Ja, da kann man Drachen fürs Housing kaufen. Habe ich schon alle gekauft. Und die kann man dann auch im Housing platzieren und die sind dann auch in der Luft. Das ist einfach so eine Schnur am Boden und dann so 10 Meter drüber ist der Drache. Die ganzen Figuren, beziehungsweise Charaktere, die man hier noch... Die stehen auch alle irgendwo hier noch rum. Kann man überall nochmal finden. Ich hatte ja für das eine Video ein Foto mit den beiden hier hinten gemacht. In ihren tollen Klamotten. Also wenn ihr da noch ein paar Screenshots mit den Charakteren machen wollt, müsst ihr euch ein bisschen umgucken. Die stehen überall verteilt in der Stadt noch so ein bisschen rum. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Dann bis zum nächsten Event. Ciao, Leute.